you beautiful top 10ers, how are you doing today? Well, I hope. I'm Rebecca Felgate and this is Most Amazing Top 10. Now today we are talking the top 10 best cities in the whole wide world. Now we're taking in statistics from the Happiness Index and combining them with areas of natural beauty and places with incredible culture. Henceforth, we have put forward this list of the best cities in the world. Let's get going, shall we? In at number 10, we have Berlin in Germany. Now Berlin is the capital of Germany and the city dates back to the 13th century, long before the unification of Germany itself. Now Berlin has a checkered history. It was a key part of Nazi Germany and was later divided in two by the Berlin Wall. Long before Hitler got his greasy little hands on the country and the city, Berlin was known as a hub for artists, with cabaret flowing through the city's veins. Now these days Berlin remains one of the most culturally and artistically vital cities in the world, with many musicians, painters, architects and theatre performers flocking there today. Now there's plenty of beautiful architecture such as the Pergamon Museum, River Spree runs through the city, and you can still see parts of the Berlin Wall. It is hauntingly beautiful. Prost, Berlin. In at number 9 we have Auckland in New Zealand. The Economist Intelligence Unit's Global Livability Study has shown that Auckland is one of the best cities in the world to live in. Now it has a happiness rating of 96%. Auckland is a city in New Zealand's Northern Island and it is simply beautiful. It has city living and beautiful countryside in one fell swoop. Now the city is based around two large harbours, meaning there is loads of water and waterside fun to be had, including beautiful beaches. Now the city has the iconic Sky Tower, there's a park that is based around an extinct volcano which is so cool. Now the best thing about Auckland is that it has a lovely temperature all year round. It's never too hot or never too cold. Now the average high is 25 degrees Celsius in the summer and 15 degrees in the winter. That's 75 degrees Fahrenheit and 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter. Pretty good. In at number 8 we have Kyoto in Japan. Now Kyoto is the ancient capital of Japan, which is now of course Tokyo. Now looking at pictures of this place, it is absolutely gorgeous. Kyoto is on the island of Honshu, which is filled with ancient Buddhist temples, shrines, beautiful gardens and traditional Japanese wooden houses. Now the city is so well preserved that the historic monuments of ancient Kyoto are listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Now looking at this place is exactly how I would imagine historical Japan to be. Now the city still has beautiful old traditions like kaiseki dining, which is the whole evening of food. It also has geisha women still, which is crazy. Now the city is the media hub for Japan and is warm all year round, getting pretty darn hot in the summer. From one historic city to another, in at number 7 we have Paris. Paris is the effortlessly cool capital of France and is an absolute beauty. Shall we start by mentioning that Paris is probably the food capital of the world. Croissants, pain au chocolat and macaroons line every bakery in the city, and the coffee is incredible. Now the patio culture out there is thriving and there are many Michelin star restaurants in the city. Paris is also one of the fashion capitals of the world and is highly regarded for its culture, which includes many incredible museums, my favourite being the Pompidou Centre for Modern Art. Now of course there is the Eiffel Tower, the Cathedral of Notre Dame, the Louvre and so many other iconic places and pieces of architecture. The city is spread around the River Seine and just oozes romance and glamour. Now no matter what anyone does to mess with this city, they will never break the Parisian spirit. Je suis Paris. In at number 6 we have Sydney, Australia. Hot, hot, hot all year round, Sydney is ironically a super cool city. Built around a glistening harbour, Sydney is known for its harbour bridge, its distinctive opera house, its beautiful botanic gardens and the Sydney Tower. Like Auckland, Sydney has been named one of the most livable cities in the world because of its climate, natural beauty and its economic opportunities. Sydney has plenty of arts, entertainment, sports and water sports, with many Australians living very active lives. Now it rarely ever drops below 8 Celsius in the winter, but the mercury does tip 40 degrees Celsius in the summer, which makes it very hot. Now I feel very strongly about the next city on the list, and for me it is the most livable city I've ever had the pleasure of residing in. In at number 5 we have Toronto. That's right, Toronto, Canada. Whoop! Toronto, or the Six as our friend Drake would say, is one of the greatest cities in the world. It has the beauty of being situated on a glorious lake. It is a fun-filled city with art, theatre, dance, music, sport and incredible food, trust me. The city is known for its skyline, which includes the CN Tower, the third tallest tower in the world, and the Arc of the Rogers Centre where the beloved Blue Jays play. Now the city has an amazing infrastructure and is a rising global economic power. The city has so much to do in all hours of the day and has plenty of beautiful parks such as Hyde Park and Trinity Bellwoods, but I like to hang out in the summer. There's also an island Island off the main coast of Toronto, which is beautiful. And also there are beaches in Toronto that you can hang out in the summer. It is great. I have to say, having lived in another one of the cities further up on this list, although people in the city here say it's a bit pricey, it is nowhere near as expensive as some of the American cities and major European cities. I personally think the quality of life in Toronto is great. One thing we do need to mention though is that the winters are extremely cold. That said, the summers are beautiful and hot, and the sky is almost always blue, so hooray Toronto. A beautiful ancient city next up. In at number 4 we have Rome. That's right, at number 4 it is Rome in Italy. They say Rome wasn't built in a day, and that is very, very true. The city has been in development for millennia. Dating back around 3,000 years, in today's modern Rome you can still see the impressive Colosseum, the Basilica, the Roman baths, the Sistine Chapel. It is insane how much history comes alive before your very eyes. It is also home to the Vatican City, which, if that's your bag, is pretty cool. So Rome has been considered one of the best cities in the world since civilizations began. Ancient scriptures stress its importance, Caesar laid claim to it, as did Benito Mussolini. Now these days Rome continues to be a hub of culture, and I can't believe we have made it this far without talking about the food. Yes, pizza in Rome is like pizza nowhere else in the world. And Italian food in general is absolutely great. Pasta, gelato, antipasti, all of it. But in Rome it is absolutely top notch. In at number 3 we have Copenhagen in Denmark. Now the quality of life in Copenhagen is said to be very high, and the people that live there are said to be among the most satisfied in the world. Now Copenhagen is beautiful and is spread across the coastal islands of Zealand and Amager. So like many European cities, Copenhagen is home to an abundance of beautiful architecture like the Amalienborg Palace, the Christiansborg Parliament buildings, the Rosenborg Castle, and also the Rosenborg Castle has an amazing garden. There is also the gorgeous area of Nyhavn, which is on the water and lined by fantastic multicolored houses. Fairy tale writer Hans Christian Andersen came from Copenhagen. There is a statue of the Little Mermaid that has been erected in his honor. Like many cosmopolitan cities, Copenhagen has music, theatre, and arts abound, and it was also the birthplace of new food movement called New Nordic cuisine. Now this movement promotes natural and locally sourced ingredients. Demonstrating New Nordic at its finest is Noma, which has been voted the best restaurant in the world. In at number 2, a city very close to my heart, we have London in England. London is brilliant. Writer Samuel Johnson said, "When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life," and he could be right. Dating back to Roman times when it was called Londinium, London has flourished as a modern day super city. Set around the expansive River Thames, London has iconic buildings such as Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, St Paul's Cathedral, London Bridge, London Eye, and the many Royal London parks. Now London is known for its massive theatre scene known as West End Theatre. There are literally hundreds of theatres across the city. It's also a hub for sport, music, art, and culture in general, with museums being free across the city. The city is so big and has an excellent transportation network, allowing you to travel around the city with ease. Now my absolute favourite thing about the city London, which I lived in for 8 years, aside from the theatre scene, it has to be the beautiful South Bank. Now the South Bank is an area along the river where you can have a beautiful stroll, also dine al fresco when the summer is thriving. I love you London, if you're watching. So guys, we have reached that all important moment in our top 10 best cities in the world. How can I possibly only list 10? There are so many awesome cities out there. I for one hope I can do a part 2 so I can do justice to the amazing places in the world. But for now, our number 1 is clear. It has to be the Big Apple, New York, USA. I wanna wake up in a city that never sleeps. Yep. God, I love New York. It is just so glamorous. Now dating back to the 15th century, New York is arguably the most iconic city in the world. Home to the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, the Statue of Liberty, One World Trade, Central Park, Times Square, the Met, Madison Square Gardens, the Yankees. New York is a global hub for finance, fashion, sport, art, and culture. Now Broadway is the umbrella term for the theatre scene in New York, and it is world renowned. Made up of 5 states, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and Long Island, the city is cosmopolitan and is made up of a whole variety of cultures. The city is beautiful all year round with a very seasonal climate. It's bitterly cold and snowy in the winter, warm and pleasant in the spring, hot, hot, hot in the summer, and colourful in the fall. Like Toronto, the sky is almost always blue too. It is beautiful. Everyone needs to visit New York at least once in their life. So guys, that was the top 10 best cities in the world. Do let me know what your favourite city is in the comments section down below. I'm Rebecca Felgate. You can follow me on Instagram or subscribe to my personal YouTube channel where I like to post adventure videos. Hurrah! This has been Most Amazing Top 10. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more fabulous top 10 videos. I will see you next time.